All right, so for the final explainer in our series, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take a deep breath, we're stepping away from all the noise about optimization and diving into the quiet, almost poetic rebellion of Jenny Odell's How to Do Nothing. And just so we're clear, this isn't about becoming more productive, not at all. It's about reclaiming our attention, our world, and maybe even ourselves, just for the sake of it. So Odell kicks things off with this paradox that honestly feels so incredibly true to modern life. She writes, "We know that we live in complex times that demand complex thoughts and conversations, and those, in turn, demand the very time and space that is nowhere to be found." Think about that. The world is more complicated than ever, and the very things we need to make sense of it, time and focus, are the exact things being taken from us. And this is where things get really interesting. If that hamster wheel of constant productivity and reaction is just running us into the ground, what's the alternative? Odell's answer isn't some new life hack. It's a huge revolutionary question. What if the answer isn't to get better at playing the game, but to simply refuse to play at all? Okay, let's get into it. First up, the age of distraction, a place we all know a little too well, right? Check out this metaphor Odell brings up. It's from Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, where a farmer says the bank is a monster that men made, but they can't control. Odell says, hey, that's the attention economy. It's not one evil CEO in a boardroom. It's this huge, faceless system that we all built, a system that now feeds on our focus. It's a monster of our own making. So, of course, we're not just taking this lying down, right? We try to fight back, we try to escape. But Odell points out that a lot of our usual escape routes, well, they're kind of flawed. Let's talk about escaping the wrong way. You've basically got two main camps here. On one side, there's the digital detox. You know the drill. Take a weekend off your phone so you can come back to work on Monday, refreshed and ready to be even more productive. Then on the other side, you've got total escapism, this fantasy of just ditching it all, moving to a cabin in the woods, and leaving the world's problems behind. And this is where Odell's point really hits home. The digital detox, it just turns rest into another tool for the very system you're trying to escape. And total escapism, it's not just impossible for most of us, it's also a way of avoiding our responsibilities to each other. Neither one actually challenges the rules of the game. They're just different ways to lose. So if those are the wrong paths, what's the right one? This is where Odell offers us a third way, a real alternative. She calls it her manifesto for nothing. So what does she mean by doing nothing? Well, it's a deep, powerful act of political resistance. It's only nothing if you're looking at it through the lens of productivity and profit. See, the point isn't to recharge so you can go back to work. The point is to stop and ask, wait, is work the only thing that's valuable? It's a shift from always trying to innovate and create new things to simply caring for what we already have. So how do you actually do this? Well, Odell breaks it down into these three movements. First, you drop out. Not of society, but of that frantic, endless cycle of online outrage and reaction. Then you start to move your attention outward, to the real people and the real world that's physically right in front of you. And finally, you move downward, and you cultivate this deep sense of place. You actually learn about where you live. Right, so that sounds great in theory, but how do you pull this off while, still having a job and living in the world? That brings us to her philosophy of resistance, which she calls standing apart. The whole vibe of this idea is captured perfectly by this one character from a Herman Melville story, Bartleby. When his boss asks him to do something, he doesn't shout no, he just calmly says, "I would prefer not to." He's not just refusing the task, he's gently, stubbornly refusing the entire framework of the request. And that is what it means to stand apart. It's not about leaving, it's about being an outsider right where you are. You don't run away from the world, you just resist the algorithms and the outrage machines that try to tell you how to experience it. It's this quiet, permanent commitment to refusal, right in your own life. So, if we manage to pull our attention back from all that digital noise, where do we put it? Odell's answer is actually pretty simple and really beautiful. We listen to the world around us. She brings up this idea called bioregionalism. And look, it sounds kind of academic, but it's not. It's just about paying attention to the place you live. It's knowing not just the names of the birds in the trees, but understanding how they all connect with each other and with you. It's about seeing yourself as a citizen of your local ecosystem. Odell has this amazing personal story that just nails this idea. She started what she thought was bird watching, but she realized it was actually bird listening. At first, all the birdsong was just a wall of background noise. But as she paid closer attention, that wall of sounds started to break apart into individual, meaningful voices. A raven here, a robin there. Her whole reality changed just by listening more deeply. So, what's the point of all this? Where does all this deep listening and refusal actually lead? Well, it's about something huge, finding a way to build a real self. See, the attention economy wants you to have a personal brand. It wants you to be a stable, predictable product that can be marketed. It's a self that you optimize. But Odell offers something else, the emergent self. This self is fluid, it's always changing, and it's shaped by real interactions with people and your environment. It's a self that's alive, not packaged for sale. And so, we're left with a question that Odell leaves for all of us. It's both an invitation and the challenge. After you've dropped out of the noise, after you've learned to really listen to the world and to yourself again, what or who is that sitting in front of you when you finally do?